In this video, I want to teach you how to change gears on a motorbike. What's up, Rad family? I'm Dakota Freeman and welcome to the Rad Adventure Dude channel. When you want to learn how to take your riding to the next level, it's going to be so important that you learn how to change gears properly on your motorbike to where you can shift up through the gears to get into the higher gears, down through the gears to get into the lower gears, and really learn how to change your gears in the smoothest way possible. When we're learning how to change our gears on our motorbike, it's going to be important that you know the three main controls that we're going to be using. These three controls are going to be our throttle, our clutch, and our gear shifter. So let's go ahead and dive in on how we use these three controls to change gears on our motorbike. So when we want to first get started on our motorbikes, we're going to need to know how to use our throttle, our clutch, and our gear shifter to get the bike rolling into motion. The first thing we want to do is to let off the throttle. Then we're going to pull in our clutch, and at this point use our left foot to shift with our gear shifter. As soon as you let the throttle off and pull the clutch in, you're going to shift down into first gear, and at this point you're going to have to release the clutch until you start to feel the bike actually want to roll into motion, or you hear the RPM start to drop. When you start to hear and feel this part of where you're letting the clutch out, you're going to now want to apply throttle, and that is what's actually going to get you to roll on your motorbike. This is going to be the first part of getting started on our motorbikes, as you're going to have to do this every single time you start rolling on your motorbike. So make sure you practice this part, as it's very important to becoming the best rider you can possibly be. You never want to just pop that clutch out. You want to focus on slowly releasing that clutch, and this way you can begin to feel the point of motion and then begin to apply throttle and still slowly release the clutch until it's completely released. If you just pop that clutch out, even with the throttle on, it's going to be very aggressive and just jump into gear, making the bike probably either want to do a wheelie or stall out. And this is what you're really trying to avoid, so let's make sure to not do this whenever we're learning how to change gears on our dirt bike. This way you can get started on your motorbike in the most comfortable way and really develop good habits from the beginning. Now that you're rolling on your motorbike and you want to shift up through the gears, we're going to kind of go through the same step over again. We're not going to have to use the throttle and the clutch at the same time as we're already rolling with momentum now. We can simply just let the throttle off, pull in our clutch, use our gear shifter to shift up in our gears, and at this point actually just release our clutch and then get back on the throttle when you're ready. This is because we already have momentum and our rear wheel is spinning and it's not stopped, which is what doesn't allow the bike to stall. Since you have momentum and since your rear wheel is spinning, you can just release that clutch and then get back on the throttle. And this is really going to help you develop to where you can shift through your gears in the smoothest way possible and shift through them much faster, because you're now going to know as soon as you get the clutch pulled in just to tap your gear shifter, and then you can just release it and get back on the throttle. And all you have to worry about is doing this the most efficient way possible. So continually work on this and shift up through your gears, and this is how you're going to get into the higher gears that go faster, and they also have a lot less torque behind these gears as well, making it easier to just be able to cruise on your bike and not have to worry about the torque coming from the motor. The torque is what is generated from our lower gears, as they're more geared for acceleration, and that is what is actually going to make it so much harder to learn how to use our throttle. So when you actually begin to change gears and shift up through the gears like this and get into the higher gears, you're going to learn how to ride your motorbike so much faster and be able to ride so much better. So make sure that you continually work on this part, as it's going to become a huge part of your riding. If this video is already helping you, well, make sure you hit the subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future dirt bike riding tips. Next, I want to go over how to shift down through our gears so we can downshift in the best way possible. When we want to learn how to shift down through our gears, it's going to be very important that we do the same process with our controls as we did when we were shifting up through the gears. When we're changing down in the gears, we're going to let the throttle off, we're going to pull in our clutch, and now we're going to tap down with our gear shifter. Shifting down and then releasing our clutch, you're going to begin to feel the RPMs of the motor get much higher. And now as you've let that clutch back out and you hear the RPMs at a higher point as you just downshifted, you're going to want to use your brakes to help slow the bike down as well. So this way it drops the RPM level a little bit before we go through and make another gear shift. If you change down through too many gears, the RPMs are going to get to such a high point that the back wheel is actually going to want to slide. And that's not what we want. We really want to make sure we're changing down through the gears, using our brakes to help slow us down. And then when you hear the RPM start to come down a little bit, we can then go through this process again and change down through the gears to continually do this until we get back to the lower gears and bring the bike to a stop. So continue practicing on your motorbike and practice shifting all the way up through the gears, and then practice shifting down through the gears, and really develop a good feel for this when you're riding. You're going to be able to listen to the motor, and actually it will tell you by the RPM level if you're in too high of a gear, if you're in too low of a gear, and that is truly what's going to make you the best rider possible. When you can listen to the bike and know when you need to shift up or know when you need to shift down, is truly going to take your riding to the next level. So keep practicing this, as it's going to be a very important part of becoming the best rider you can possibly be. The next part I want to go over is how we can improve changing our gears to get the most control out of our bikes when we're changing our gears. Well, the way that we can do this in the best way possible is to learn how to stand up on our motorbike. When we're standing on our motorbike, it's going to be difficult to learn how to shift gears, so you're going to probably learn when you're sitting down. But when you're ready to get better at this and actually become a better rider, you're going to want to learn how to stand up and change your gears as well. The reason this is a little bit more difficult is because you're now going to not be sitting down and just simply easily be able to pull your left foot off the foot peg, shift down, and then put it back. You're now going to be standing, and you actually have to brace on the handlebars with your upper body. As you brace on the handlebars like this, now with your right foot still on that foot peg, you can take your left foot off the foot peg and hit the gear shifter, and then be able to put it back to where you have to get both feet back on the pegs. And we always want to make sure that we ride with the balls of our feet on our pegs. And when you begin to stand up like this and change gears, this is really going to help you become a much faster rider. Because when you begin to stand up, you're going to actually have the most control. So make sure you practice this part over time. You're going to really want to focus on standing up, changing your gears, and this is what's really going to help you develop the best way possible. Another part of changing gears on our motorbike is going to be when we shift down, you're going to feel just like when we put on the brakes, it want to shift your body weight forward. So brace for this as you're shifting down and kind of get your weight a little bit further back to help compensate for this whenever you start to shift down. When you begin to shift up and you're accelerating, it's going to want to do the opposite by throwing your body weight a little bit further back, so you can compensate for this by kind of using your upper body to help pull you to the front of the bike, and this is going to help you keep your front wheel on the ground whenever you're shifting up through the gears and you're accelerating hard. Spend time with this, think about all these steps going on, and I promise the more you work on this, it's going to improve your riding dramatically. Whenever you get to the point where you no longer have to think about using your clutch to release with the throttle to get the bike going, and you can just simply know exactly where that point of motion is and hit the throttle, and that's going to get you projected into motion, is going to be how you learn in the best way possible. So keep practicing, keep working on it, and this is going to really help you develop to become the best rider possible. I really hope that this video helped you learn how to change gears on your motorbike in the smoothest way possible. If so, make sure you like this video, drop some comments down below, and ask me any other questions that you have. If you're still looking for more dirt bike riding tips, I have a full dirt bike riding course over on my website. It's going to walk you through being a complete beginner and take you to an advanced rider mastering the tracks and trails. I also give away a free dirt bike guide over on my website. All you have to do is sign up for my newsletter, and I'll send it straight to you. Make sure you click the subscribe button that's right here and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future dirt bike riding tips. After that, you can watch my next video right here. Stay rad, and I'll see you over there.